Welcome back, students. Let us do some other examples. We are given this question: evaluate 1 over 5 raised to the power negative 2 multiplied with 1 over 5 raised to the power negative 4. So I'm going to be using this formula, which is 1 divided by a power m can be, of course, it can be rewritten as 1 over a raised to the power m, which can be also rewritten as a power negative 1 raised to the power m, which is a raised to the power negative m. If m is negative, then we would have 1 divided by a power negative m, which is 1 divided by a raised to the power negative m, which can be rewritten as a power negative 1 raised to the power negative m, which is a raised to the power positive m. Okay, so the basic formula that you have to know is 1 over a raised to the power negative m can be rewritten as a raised to the power positive m. So in other words, 1 divided by a raised to the power negative m would sometimes also be given as a power negative m. So you should be watchful in picking up the question. So this is very vital. Okay, so having said that, let me do the question. I've been given 1 over 5 raised to the power negative 2 multiplied with 1 over 5 raised to the power negative 4. So this can be rewritten as 5. I'm moving 5, which is in the denominator, to the numerator. So that's going to be 5 raised to the power negative 1 raised to the power negative 2 multiplied with 5 raised to the power negative 1 raised to the power negative 4. Now, as I mentioned to you, we can use this formula, which is a raised to the power m raised to the power n is equal to a raised to the power m times n. So by using this formula, I can clearly write 5 raised to the power negative 1 times raised to the power negative 2 as 5 raised to the power negative 1 is multiplied with negative 2, okay, followed by 5 raised to the power negative 1 is multiplied with negative 4. Now this would be equal to negative 1 multiplied with negative 2 would give me positive 2. That is in turn multiplied with 5 raised to the power negative 1 multiplied with negative 4 would give me positive 4. So now we have a familiar situation. This is similar to a raised to the power m multiplied with a raised to the power n, which is a raised to the power m positive n. So using this formula, I can now rewrite the above quantity as 5 raised to the power 2 positive 4, which is 5 raised to the power 6. So this is my solution. Okay, we got a next question. Negative 1 over 6 raised to the power negative 3 multiplied with negative 1 over 6 raised to the power negative 2. So I would be rewriting this as negative 1 raised to the power negative 3 divided by 6 raised to the power negative 3. This is multiplied with negative 1 raised to the power negative 2 divided by 6 raised to the power negative 2. Now, as I mentioned to you, we know a formula: a raised to the power negative m is equal to a raised to the power positive m. So using that formula, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be moving negative 1 raised to the power negative 3 to the denominator and moving 6 raised to the power negative m, which is negative 3 here, to the numerator. So that would be 6 raised to the power positive 3 divided by negative 1 raised to the power positive 3 multiplied 6 raised to the power negative 2 goes to the numerator, so that's going to be 6 raised to the power positive 2 divided by negative 1 raised to the power negative 2 goes to the denominator, so that would be positive 2. Now I am going to be grouping these two together, so that would be 6 raised to the power 3 multiplied with 6 raised to the power 2 divided by negative 1 raised to the power 3 with negative 1 raised to the power 2. Now we have got a formula. What's a formula? A raised to the power m multiplied with a raised to the power n can be rewritten as a raised to the power m positive n. So using this formula, I can rewrite this as 6 raised to the power 3 positive 2 negative 1 raised to the power 3 positive 2. This would give me 6 raised to the power 5 divided by negative 1 raised to the power 5. Of course, we all know when a negative quantity is raised to the power of an odd number, the outcome will always be odd. Just for your clarity, I'm just showing you what happens when negative 1 is multiplied 5 times, because as I mentioned to you in the previous class, exponent concept is actually a short way to represent multiplication. So that's the reason I'm multiplying negative 1 5 times. So negative 1 times negative 1 would give me a positive 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 would give me a positive 1. Of course, I've got a negative 1 here. So upon multiplying negative 1 with 2 positive ones, the outcome will also going to be a negative 1. Okay, so that's the basics of sign multiplication. So just for your clarity, so the final answer can be rewritten as negative 6 raised to the power 5. If you are very specific, you can expand 6 raised to the power 5 and write it down here, while I choose to stop here.